Okay, so think about it like this. If a sentence is a house and the words are the bricks, what are the bricks themselves made of? Turns out they're these secret, even smaller building blocks hidden inside the words we use every single day. So let's start digging and see what we can find, shall we?
Here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to go on a little journey deep into the architecture of language itself. We'll start by uncovering the actual atoms of our speech. Then we'll meet some free spirits and their clingier friends, the hangers-on. We'll check out a morpheme family tree, solve the very strange case of the cranberry, and finally, we'll uncover your own inner language engineer.
All right, first up, the atoms of language. We're about to break our words down to their absolute smallest, most fundamental pieces of meaning. And here it is, the star of our show, the morpheme. Now, the official definition is the smallest meaningful unit of a language, and that word meaningful is absolutely crucial. This isn't about syllables, those are just units of sound. A morpheme has to carry some kind of meaning, even if it's just a little piece of grammar. It's the true atom of meaning.
Let's just take the word unbreakable. At first glance, it looks like one solid thing, right? But it's actually three different morphemes all working together. You've got un, which means not. You have the root, break, which means, to fracture. And then you have able, which means can be done. Three separate units of meaning, all fused together to create one really powerful word. That's the magic of morphemes right there.
So now that we know what a morpheme is, we can get into its two main families. You've got your independent free spirits, and then you've got the more dependent hangers-on.
Basically, morphemes come in two main flavors. First, you have free morphemes. These are the ones that can stand all by themselves as a complete word. Simple stuff like cat, run, or the. But then you have bound morphemes. These are the hangers-on. They absolutely cannot stand alone. They're like little attachments that need a host word to make any sense, like the plural s or that prefix un we just saw.
Now, even these free spirits have their own little cliques. They break down into two types. On one hand, you've got lexical morphemes. Think of these as your content words, the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives. We call this an open class because we're inventing and adding new ones all the time. I mean, words like blog or vibe weren't really a thing a few decades ago. On the other side, you've got functional morphemes. This is the grammatical glue of our language. Prepositions, articles, pronouns like and, but, or she, and this is a closed class because we pretty much never add new words to this category. Okay, so we've covered the free spirits. Now let's dive into the really fascinating world of the hangers-on with our morpheme family tree. We're going to classify all those morphemes that just can't live on their own.
So these bound morphemes, also known as affixes, have two very different jobs. Derivational morphemes, these are the real game changers. They can totally flip a word's meaning, right? Like turning happy into unhappy. Or they can even change its entire grammatical category, like turning the adjective kind into the noun kindness. Then you have the inflectional morphemes. They're way more subtle. They just add a little bit of grammatical detail, like tense or number, turning walk into walked or dog into dogs. They just refine the word. They don't totally transform it.
Let's just watch the power of a derivational morpheme in action. It's kind of like linguistic alchemy. You start with a root word, kind, which is an adjective. Then you bolt on a derivational morpheme, in this case, ness. And just like that, poof, a brand new word is born, kindness, which is now a noun.
Okay, so remember how we said inflectional morphemes just add grammatical info? Well, get ready for this. In the entire vast, complex English language, how many of them do you think there are? Hundreds? Thousands? Nope. Just 8. That's it. This is a very, very exclusive club.
And here they are, the Elite 8. It's honestly amazing when you see it laid out like this. Just these 8 little attachments handle almost all of our core grammatical heavy lifting. Plurals, possessives, verb tenses, participles, comparisons. Everything from dogs to walked to smallest is handled by one of these 8. It's an unbelievably efficient system.
And now for what might be the most fun part of this whole journey, it's time to solve the case of the cranberry and do a little investigation into the ghosts of morphemes past. So seriously, think about it for a second. In the word cranberry, we all know what berry means. That's a free morpheme. But what on earth does cran mean? Can you use cran in any other word? Does it have any meaning by itself? Didn't think so.
Well, this little puzzle leads us to a really special category, the cranberry morpheme. And yeah, it's named after this exact word. It's a type of bound morpheme that, over time, has completely lost its independent meaning. It doesn't mean anything on its own anymore, but it's still hanging around, making sure we know the difference between a cranberry and, say, a blackberry. It's a linguistic fossil.
And here's the big reveal, the solution to the puzzle. The original name for the berry was a craneberry, most likely because people thought the plant's flower looked a bit like the head and neck of a crane. But over time, crane got smushed and fused to berry, and its original meaning just faded away, leaving behind this mysterious little cran.
And this isn't some one-off thing. English is packed with these fossils once you start looking. Take lukewarm. What's luke? Well, it comes from a Middle English word for tepid. Or how about cobweb? Cob is from coppa, an old word for spider. And blatherskite, a person who talks a lot of nonsense? That skite part comes from a Scots word for a contemptible person. They're literally echoes of history buried in our vocabulary.
You see, these language fossils prove that this isn't just a bunch of trivia. It's a living system that's always changing. So let's bring it all together and discover your inner language engineer and see how you use all these building blocks every single day without even thinking about it.
This quote really nails it. We have a limited, finite set of building blocks, these morphemes, but we can use them to create a literally endless array of meanings. This incredible concept is called discrete infinity, and it is the engine that powers human language.
And that, right there, is the big takeaway from all of this. You haven't just memorized tens of thousands of individual words like a giant dictionary. Your brain has done something way more amazing. It has unconsciously mastered a system. You know the parts, the roots, the prefixes, the suffixes, and you know the rules for how to combine them. Every single time you speak, you are an engineer constructing meaning on the fly.
So, as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. Now that you've seen the hidden architecture inside our language, what words will you just never see the same way again?